Bhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Dana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Dana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Jaya Gauranita 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 Jaya Gauranita Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Gaur Premanande Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parirajakarya Stotra Sadasya His Divine Grace Abhay Charanavindesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parirajakarya Stotra Sadasya His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Gaur Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavate Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Sa Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 84, Text 48. Okay. Taibhir Dukkhala Valyayar Hara Nipura Kundalinaha Svalankatabhir Vabhu Dikshito Ajnanasmrtaha Taibhe Dukkala Valayavir Hara Nipura Kundalina Svalankarbhir Vabhahu Ya Vibharu Dikshito Ajnanasmrtaha Tabhir Dukkalai Valarir Harar Nipura Kundalina Swalankibhir Vibhavur Dikshito Ajnana Samsatva Tabhir Dukkilar Valair Harar Nipura Kundalina Swalankartabhir Vibhavur Dikshito Ajnana Samsvata. Please chant. Tabhir Dukkila Valai Harar Nipura Kundale Svalankirta Vibharo Dikshito Vina Samstrata. Tabhir Dukkila Valai Harar Nipura Kundalina Svalankirtabhir Vibharo Dikshito Gnana Samsvata. Tabhir with them, Dokila with silk saris, Valayevi and bangles, Harar wearing necklace, Nipuram ankle belts, Kundalina and earrings. So finely, Alankabhir decorated, Vibhahu she shone brilliantly. The Khitaha having been initiated, Ajana by a deer skin, Samvita and wrapped. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Vasudeva received initiation along with his wife, who wore silk saris and were adored with bangles, necklace, and ankle bells and earrings. With his body wrapped in a deer's skin, Vasudeva shone splendidly. Text 49. My dear Maharaj Parikshit, Vasudeva's priest and the officiating members of the assembly dressed in a silk dhotis and jeweled ornaments, looked so effulgent that they seemed to be standing in the sacrificial arena of Indra, the killer of Vritra. Text 50. At that time, Balarama and Krishna and the lords of all living entities shone forth with the great majesty in the company of their respective sons, wives, and other family members who were expansion of their opulence. Text 51. Performing the various kinds of Vedic sacrifice according to proper regulations, Vasudeva worshipped the Lord of all sacrificial paraphernalia, mantras, and rituals. He executed both the primary and secondary sacrifices, offering the obligations to the sacred fire and carrying out other aspects of sacrificial worship. Purport: There are numerous kinds of Vedic sacrifice. So there are numerous kinds of Vedic fire sacrifice, each of which involves several elaborate rituals. The Brahmanas portion of the Vedic Shruti specifies the complete step-by-step procedure of only a few prototype sacrifice, such as the Jyotishmita and Dasara Pumsama. These are called Prakritika or the original yajnas, and the details of the other yajnas must be ex- extrapolated from the patterns of these Prakrita injunctions according to the strict rules of the Mahimsa Shastra. Since other yajnas are thus known by the derivation from the prototype sacrifice, they are called Vakritaka or change. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा माह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So, welcome everybody for the morning Bhagavatam class. We have this verse basically describing the Vasudeva's attire, dress, and his wearing ornaments and his wives, and the types of sacrifices. So, Vasudeva received initiation along with his wives, who wore silk saris and were adorned with bangles, necklace, and ankle bells, earrings, with his body wrapped in a deer skin. Vasudeva shone splendidly. So basically, at the time of initiation, anyone who is receiving initiation must be dressed neatly. At least he should wear the dress which is very clean, not worn, or at least it is washed. So that's a basic thing. In the age of Kali, people have to be mentioned each and everything. Why? Because they're so degraded. They don't understand the process of taking initiation. At least they don't understand how to live day-to-day life with keeping himself clean, body and mind. Coming to the body aspects, we wear everyday neat clothes, which is at least washed. In those days, they wore very clothes, silk clothes, and which is new sarees every day because they were opulent. Of course, we see nowadays there are only few people, rich, opulent people. They wear everyday new clothes, and as a devotees, they should wear at least clean clothes, which is washed. At the time of initiation, why it is recommended? Because cleanliness is next to the godliness. Coming to the body and mind, coming to the mind, every day must be how we should clean our mind by regularly chanting the holy name of the Lord, by regularly attending the morning program. So in that way, body and mind will be clean. If your mind is cleaned, automatically body is clean. How? When consciousness is clean, automatically you see the things as they are clearly. When you see some dirty things, immediately you change it or you clean it. When you see the clothes which you are wearing is dirty, immediately you wash it, or you keep it separately. If it is very dirty or it cannot be worn again. So immediately every day is attending the same program is cleanses our consciousness and cleanses our existence, one's existence. Here, basically, description about the Vasudeva receiving initiation with his wife and how he dressed. It is elaborately explained in this verse. And in this verse, we also see that they were given the description of each and everything. They wore silk saris, new bangles, and ankle belts. Every part is very new because when you receive the initiation or when you sit in a fire sacrifice, everything should be the pure. When you are in the pure, you received that message, it goes to your mind and heart. For example, like nowadays we don't have that in India. We used to have the radio stations, like when you tune it a proper station, the frequency, you can hear the message properly. When your message is not heard properly, you cannot understand and you don't know what's going on. Correct? If a news is broadcasting, when your radio is not tuned according to the station, you don't receive the correct message. Similarly, when you are not received initiation, when you are not pure enough, or maybe you are not wearing a neat clothes, clean clothes, you don't receive the initiation properly. Just like when in the war, the messages sends through signals. If you are not in a line with the proper station, you don't hear message what is the other party speaking. If he says, okay, go to the west or go to the north, enemy is coming from north, but you are in the east, you lose the battle. Exactly, this is also same thing. When you sit in the initiation, everything should be clean. Like we have given new wear, dhoti, uttariya, new kantimala, and you should be shaven very nicely. Hair should be very short. If you follow these rules, guidelines, or follow this, then you receive the initiation. Otherwise, You may receive the still initiation, but you will be like the same old person. Now we see that people where they take initiation for many years, but still they remain the same because they don't receive the proper initiation in the proper mood. That's why they don't understand the understand the holy names power, understand the morning program power, but they do continue like that because the type of initiation they receive, the type of mood in there, they are not exactly prepared. No, we see that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, he approached Gaur Kishore Das Babaji many times for receiving initiation. Even though he's very scholarly, he's very pure in consciousness, he he knows what is the goal of life. Still, he was rejected many times, even after knowing his perfect identity. Okay, finally, he said he was told that okay, you take initiation. Before taking initiation, also Maharaj, his spiritual master, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, told him to take bath in Ganges. He could have done it, right? It's not that he did not take bath in the morning. He have taken bath in the morning. He has did everything, but still, external cleanliness is important. We may say that, oh, I am very conscious, pure. My consciousness is pure. I am internally pure. You may be internally pure, but externally also these things are matters. So my point is that at the time of initiation, he has to take bath. Bhaksila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. You understand this point where he immediately takes a bath and then only he receives initiation. Because these are all the things where it really impact your consciousness. Then only you are perfectly, you receive the message of initiation. You receive the understand. For example, Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj was disturbed by many peoples around that area, in that village, in that where he became a famous, and everybody were disturbing him, seeking his blessings. So he went to the public toilet, he was chanting, you know but he is a Paramahamsa level, but we cannot do that. At least we cannot do it in our local toilet that we are using every day. We cannot go there and chant because totally external matters for to have impact on internal consciousness. See, this temple is nicely clean, decorated, maintained. Then you feel like chanting. You go in some place where no devotees, no deities, no holy name is being chanted, nothing is being practiced. You cannot chant even one round there because external where you see things, you get disturbed, and often you get disturbed and distracted. Same thing, we can try this out. When you are traveling of course, with the devotees it doesn't matter. With the when you are going in the flight, you may chant for a few rounds, but after some time, because the consciousness people who are surrounded with you, it is more influencing than your own consciousness. That's why when you are going outside to preach, you should give your association, not take their association. What does it means like when you go out for preaching, you should influence that person with your spiritual knowledge, spiritual wisdom, rather than getting influenced that person. So we are here, we clean the temple, maintain, and deity worship is going on, devotees are surrounded. That's why we are able to chant our rounds and follow the four regulative principles, eat only prasadam. But if you go out surrounded with the people who are not at all devotees, then your real identity comes out. your real nature comes out. So why I'm describing this point is that it's so important to have in the association of the devotees, whatever you do. And also external things are also important. If you don't take bath for a few days, say suppose you don't take bath for tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and you see, you also cannot chant. So this is things. So here, this description here is given is that how external things are important to have change in consciousness. So here we see that Vasudeva receiving initiation from the sages, and he wrapped a deer skin. So deer skin is considered as a very auspicious thing, and but when Lord Ramachandra living going for the 14 years for the he was banned from from the kingdom by his stepmother. So then also he wore deer skin. Deer skin has a very much value, and nowadays we cannot do that because it is animal right. If you kill any animal, so those days it is considered as very very auspicious, and it is worn by the renounced order of life. And in the text 49, my dear Maharaj Pariksit, Vasudeva's priest and the officiating members of the assembly, dressed in the dressed in the silk dhotis and jewel ornaments, looked so effulgent that they seemed to be standing in the sacrificial arena of Indra, the killer of Vrita. So, is it further description of the sacrificial arena and the assembly and the people surrounded there, and the whole situation is described here. So, there is another version which Jiva Goswami has given. One version has the Pita Kukshena Vasyaha. They were dressed in a new cloth similar to the Lord's. The other version has they were dressed in a cloth with the germs hanging at the edge. The simple the, the smile is used to indicate that just on seeing this one would become astonished. So Jiva Goswami is giving the description of the dress. How dress is looked like. He says that the dress which they wear, you know, at the edges their gems were hanging. See how opulent they are. Nowadays, if you wear a costliest dress, or at least if you have a gold necklace or a chain, and or you have ear rings on your hand, gold rings, you will be most anxiety and miserable person. Why? You are wearing a gold chain and a gold rings, and you have a very nice dress. Why you are will be anxiety? Because somebody may come and you know take away, or somebody doing mugging, somebody may catch hold of you. That's a fear you have, but Lord does not have fear that. In the South India, Lord Balaji, Tirupati Balaji, he wear $1 million of dress every day, but he is not feared by any thief. But if you wear just a small ring on your hand, you always anxiety. It creates your anxiety. Oh, okay, do I have my ring or do I have my chain? Forget about the ring and chain. The cell phone itself, it creates an anxiety. If you don't see in your pocket your mobile phone, immediately you'll become anxiety because it's a costliest thing. See how life has become. But these people, they wear this jewelry there, which is very gold, and also this saris that we are wearing. There are gems were hanging in that. So this is one version, and Sanatana Goswami gives they wear the dress cloth previously worn by the Lord. So this is another angle. The dress which they wore previously worn by the Lord. This is Mahaprasadam. You know, we see the Mahaprasadam here. By the mercy of Vasudeva, they attained the perfection of the bhakti as they desired. Thus they especially shown, O great king, Sukadeva calls in a great joy. So each Acharya is giving a different descriptions. Like Jiva Goswami says that the silk sari which they wore, gems were hanging, and Sanatana Goswami says that uh, the clothes which were wore already by the Lord Himself. Now we say that this garland, which is already worn by the Lord Kishori, then transferred to the Srila Prabhupada, then the speaker of the Bhagavatam. Because it is very, very auspicious, Mahaprasada. And we cannot wear directly garland which is worn by the Lord because we don't have that much potency to handle that. And in the text 50, what is described here is, so in the text 49, the given a description of the arena and the dress they wear, and in the text 50, at that time Balarama and Krishna, the lords of all living entities, shone forth with the great majesty in the company of their respective sons, wives, and other families who were the expansion of their opulence. So Krishna and Balram, how they were standing with the wives and children that was given, and the Lord is of all jivas, Krishna and Balram. So he is the source of all the living entities. The two lords of the living entities, like a princess who controls the population, shown their intimate expansion and with their cousins and with their wives and sons who were not different from themselves. They were the part of themselves, or the two were in their expansion of Paramatma. So basically, it is describing the scene there. Lord Krishna and Balram, whom we are standing with, and the Yadu's family. And the text 51, we see that performing the various kinds of sacrifice according to the proper rules and regulations. See, various sacrifices should be performed according to the rules and regulations, not according to your own mental speculation. But if you perform according to your own mental speculation, according to your own theory, or according to your own philosophy, it's not sacrifice, it's only waste of time. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrika Vidimbina Anaitika Harer Bhaktir Utpata Eva Kalpate. So any ritualistic activities, any mantras, or any worship, if you do according to your own whimsical thoughts and ideas, it is only Utpata Eva Kalpate, means it is only creating a havoc in that activity, or havoc or anxiety in that misery, in anxiety in the people. There is a system which is given how to worship the deity. There is a system which is given how to perform the fire sacrifice. There are the mantras. There is each and everything has given a elaborate detailed explanation, like how if you are performing Vedic sacrifice, fire sacrifice here, you cannot perform, you cannot do, wherever you like it. It should be done on a particular day and time, and of course the priest should be qualified, and the fire sacrifice should be in a proper dimension. These are all the matters. If you do whenever you like it, if you do whatever you like it, then you won't get the results of that sacrifice. Step by step procedure is given in the shastras, in the scriptures. They are called original yajnas. If you do according to your mental speculation, then that is not considered a yajna. It is just a time waste. So Vasudeva, and he worshipped the Vishnu of the Lord of all material such obligations, then mantras, and he worshipped the Lord according to the rules when you're iterating the sacrifice, the rules described, which is worship for materials, mantras, and so you get the both benefit, material and spiritual. So since Bhagavan, he should be the worship. So of course we may not follow the all the rules and regulations, step by step procedures in this age, but everything is nullified, or everything, if something mistakes happens while chanting the mantras, or any ingredients which are impure, or we may not have a pure ingredients like a ghee especially, all these things, ultimately it is nullified by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna mantra. So that's why we see every activity, whatever we do in the Krishna consciousness movement, followed by Hare Krishna mantra. Correct? We see every arti, like morning Mangal Arti, we may not have the pure ghee wicks, or we may not have the flowers which is sacrificed. But everything is supported by chanting the holy name, so that the offense which we are doing, committing, which is nullified. It doesn't mean that we should not have a pure things. We can try for a pure things, but at the same time, the Hare Krishna mantra, when you chant, it become all auspiciousness. That's why which is recommended when you are at the time of initiation also, background Hare Krishna mantra is going on. Correct? Because the priest may not be qualified, the priest or the fire sacrifice, the ingredients of the fire sacrifice may not be pure, or day may not be pure, or everything. In this age of Kali, what you can do is the only remedy is Hare Krishna mantra, holy name of the Lord, which takes care of everything. So that's why it's so important whenever you start any activity, or whenever you want to do some deity worship, always chanting Hare Krishna mantra internally, while within your mind, or externally by doing a form of kirtan, and just beginning of any program, just like we begin Bhagavatam class, in that also we did with kirtan Hare Krishna mantra, so that everything is nullified. So by this we can understand that this is the potency of the holy name of the Lord. Other Srila Prabhupada always emphasizes, it's not emphasizes, he always, Srila Prabhupada always tells the devotees chant always in a time of deity installation, initiation, because Hare Krishna mantra has so much potency. Because we are not such a qualified person to do deity worship with all pure ingredients. You know, in the forget about the deity worship. In the Padma Puran, it is that taking shower itself, it will take 1.5 hour to take a proper shower. You should cleanse your body in such a way that it will take us time 1.5 hour to 2 hours. Then you consider as a clean, not 10 minutes shower. So it has given that much description in that Puran. Then you come on the altar, then the war dhoti, then you do all those things. But we don't have a time, unfortunately. This Kali Yuga is very fast growing. We are used to the instant things, just like Amazon order today, come deliver tomorrow. The patience is lost. One of the disqualification is that people are in this age of Kali Yuga so impatient. They cannot do be there for so longer time. Ekadasi especially, fasting on the Acharya's appearance, disappearance. So, anyways, so ultimately chanting the holy name of the Lord will purify everything. So I'll stop here. We see any discussion.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you
Hare
so much
Krishna.
for your class. You mentioned one point of anything important we are doing. To always chant Hare Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada also used to chant always that, like in like last time in Vrindavan during last days, like his tongue was always moving chanting Hare Krishna. But like our body has memory. When we do something, keep doing it, our body automatically does it. But it's like machine, you know if our attention is not there, will there be any benefit?
Yeah, the holy name has of the Lord has many benefits. So one of the benefit is if you are not attentive, like at the time of japa, you should be attentively doing your japa. That is for sure. That is, we cannot have any excuses there. But doing other activities, you may chant, but sometimes we may not. Most of the times, we may not be attentively that. But at the background, the holy name is going on in our mind, somewhere in the corner. But it has some agyata sukriti, some benefit, tiny benefit. But the point here I'm trying to say is that always remember Krishna, but never forget Krishna. That's the point I'm trying to bring. But the activity that we are doing, for example, if you are doing cooking, you are doing kirtan also. But the more important is that in a cooking, the presence of mind is required. Correct. Hare Krishna mantra, when you chant, it will gives you a present. It is helps you to stay in present. Just like when you're putting something in your, making some preparation. You are thinking, oh, yesterday that has happened. In that mode, you forget to put the salt, or you forget doing, adding some masala, or if oil is burning, you forget to do that. But when you chant Hare Krishna mantra, it makes you present. Not it'll because our mind is always thinking past or future. Not it will be not. It is very difficult to stay in present. Either it is thinking past yesterday's how it was went, or either it is thinking future. But it is most of the difficult to stay in present. At the same time, when you are chanting, you cannot be in ecstasy. Oh, if you are singing different melodies, and you cannot keep singing because our main activity is cooking. You have to be present there to add something, to take care of mixing or doing something. That is your primary activity. Secondary is chanting. Chanting helps you to keep your body, mind, and present. So that is one example. But when you are doing something where it requires your attention, focus, you know, you have to do that. But if you are free, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra or something, or chanting the not only Hare Krishna mantra, memorizing verses of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, that is also helpful. Memorizing the Upanishad verses, that is also helpful. Any mantra means mind plus tra. It delivers the mind from being haunted by past and future. Oh, tomorrow I what will do? So tomorrow I should do this or tomorrow. But you are thinking of so much of future. But you are thinking of so much in the past. You are caught up. Mind is caught up only two things. Either it is pulling only two directions: future, past, future, past, future, past. Not in present. But if you are in present, you do the activity and your future will be also good. Past you cannot change. Future you cannot change. but at least you have a chance to change present. There are, who knows, when you are present, do your duty nicely, your future may change. As in, like for example, you work very nicely on a project, and tomorrow you may get appreciation. Correct. You work on consciously on a project, on a task in your office. You get appreciation. Future, you may get higher post. Future. So, future is always mystery. Past is always history. Present is gift. Got it? Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Gandhra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande.